So you spend 4 years in high school, going through the routine, getting fairly good grades, and then you graduate. You think, wow, I'm finally done with K through 12. Wow, I've been doing this for 12 years. Now what? Hey everyone, Silly Drifloon here. I appreciate school for many things. It taught us values and social skills, gave us a basic education, but one thing school should have been preparing you for and never did is what to do when it's finally done. When I was in school, this was something I almost never thought about. I just went through the motions of the routine in this never-ending cycle of studying for the next upcoming test and taking the test. So it was study, test, study, test. Of course, there are some exceptions. I mean, I've had really good teachers that were passionate about teaching, and some really bad ones that were just like, yeah, turn your textbooks open and do the assignment. It was only until after I graduated that I actually wondered, what am I gonna do with my life? So naturally, my first thought was, more school? So I went out and got my AA degree. But even though I got my degree, I still didn't feel ready for the real world. I mean, being stuck in a routine for 12 years? Face it, school was all I knew how to do. What school should have been doing is helping kids develop their skills so that they can discover their true passions. And I understand that schools in other countries take a more hands-on approach with the way they teach kids, but in the States, they focus primarily on having them pass the class. If the students do good, the school does good. So I finally figured out what I want to do with my life. My love and passion for art and movies have driven me to want to become an animator. Now I have a ton of ideas for my own animated projects, and trust me, I have a lot of ideas. But I realize this now in my life. Had I been thinking about this during high school, I would have already been networking with like-minded creative people, seeking out the education I need, and already way more advanced in all my projects. Let me tell you something. People end up pursuing higher education for the wrong reason. They simply believe it's just what you're supposed to do, that it'll get you a better job. But doing this is a huge mistake. My mom's coworker has a bachelor's degree, and she's completely miserable in the same position my mom has with no degree. My mom just climbed the corporate ladder. Now, I'm not saying higher education's completely invalid as an option, because it's not. I'm just saying that people need to seek higher education for what they want to do. If you have a great idea for a movie or an animation like me, there's dozens of film schools you could look into. There's dozens of resources to help you, like Krita, an open source free animating software. You shouldn't only put your focus on learning, but also developing your own craft and skill. Play around with cameras, draw a lot. If you have a passion for storytelling, but not so much the visual aspect of it, J.K. Rowling is the 9th best fiction author of all time, and she was living in poverty working as a secretary when she conceived the idea for Harry Potter. And in this day and age, there are a ton of viable options and resources for you. My friend published his book right on Amazon. If you have a crazy unique idea for an invention, Steve Jobs co-founded Apple one day in the garage of his childhood home. And there's dozens of ways you can get crowdfunding in this day and age. Things like Kickstarter, Patreon, GoFundMe, Indiegogo. The resources are endless. So what if you're a more hands-on person rather than the creative type? Well, you can look into becoming an engineer or information technology. I have dozens of friends who can take apart a computer and put it back together. You can get paid building computers or fixing them. If you love to play video games, well, let me tell you, there's such a thing as esports. You can become a professional video game player or a video game tester, or even maybe a video game designer and create your own video games. And of course, you have the traditional jobs like doctor and lawyer, and that's fine too, but please make sure you're in these professions because you sincerely have a passion and desire for them. Not just because you think they're gonna get you more money. Because that's the whole point of living in a society. We as a society need to contribute to it. Every police officer, every politician you see was once a kid too, in school, going through the motions, wondering what they're gonna do with their life, until they finally figured it out. But with the creative jobs, it's not so obvious at first. This is why I want you to realize that your passion, your desire, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you love to do, it can be your profession. And it's so important for the creative community to thrive. I mean, can you honestly imagine living in a world with no creativity or pop culture? That would suck. You flip on the channel and there's no Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure that wiped out half of America right there. People need to understand that things don't just magically come into existence. Behind anything that's ever existed was a person who's had a dream to make it in the first place, years beforehand. I'm here to tell you that you can make that series. You can write that book. You can do whatever it is you want to do with your life because it's your life. You only have one, so why wouldn't you want to spend it doing what you love? If you're still in high school, or maybe you already graduated and you're reflecting on your life now, let me tell you, it's not too late to start. It's never too late to start. You deserve to live the best life you can possibly live. Everyone deserves that. So you can start right now. You can start today. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please share it with your friends and family. There are so many people who need to hear this message today. And please share this video if you feel like you've learned something. And hey, comment down below what you want to do with your life. I'd love to hear your answers. Well, until next time, don't forget to subscribe to join the Drifloon Army and hit the bell to be notified whenever I post again. Bye! Hey guys, real quick, more on those animated projects I talked about earlier. I currently started my own Patreon page, dedicated to help me get these animated projects off the ground. I'm already underway with so many of them. I have the stories, the characters, all I need is a little bit of help. Basically, I'm gonna use all the funds I receive from Patreon to help me buy equipment, like a hard drive, a microphone, things that'll help me make this animated series become a reality. If you become my patron, you'll get to see a glimpse of my creative process, how I developed this animated series over time. I'll even skill share my knowledge on how to be an artist and a content creator. And when the animated series is finally done, you'll look back at it and say, wow, I was there from the very beginning. It'll be so worth it, trust me. That's patreon.com/sillydrifloon. Thanks again!